Hello dear Slaters. Welcome back to the next video lesson of decimals. Till now, we understood how to represent decimals in place value chart and how to build the decimal numbers. Today, we shall see how to convert fractions into decimals and vice versa. So, are you ready, Slaters? Okay, let's start. First, we shall see how to write the decimal fractions in decimal form. I hope you all remember what are decimal fractions. The decimal fractions are the fractions where the denominator is a multiple of 10, like 10, 100, 1000, and so on. So, if I have to represent 1/10 or 1 by 10 as decimal, it is written as 0.1 and is read as 0.1. Similarly, 1/100th or 1 by 100 is written as 0.01 and is read as 0.01. 1,000th or 1 by 1000 is written as 0.001 and is read as 0.001. Now, if you have noticed that counting from the right, the decimal point is placed after the same number of digits as there are zeros in the denominator of the fraction. Like, for example, 4 by 10 is written as 0.4. Here, in the denominator 10, you have only one zero. So, the decimal point is after one digit from the right, that is after 4. So, 4 by 10 is written as 0.4. Similarly, 14 by 100 is written as 0.14. Yes, correct. As 100 has two zeros, so the decimal point is after two digits from the right. So, the decimal point comes after 1 and 4. So, 14 by 100 is written as 0.14. Now, 28 by 1000. Here, this decimal fraction is written as 0.028. Three zeros are in the 1000. So, the decimal point should be after 3 digits from the right. But if you observe carefully, there are only 2 digits. So, in the place of tenths, we will put a 0. So, 28 by 1000 is written as 0.028. Slaters, let me share a quick tip with you which will help you while converting decimal fractions into decimals. When there are not enough digits on the left of the numerator, add zeros to the left to get the required number of digits depending on the denominator and then place the decimal point. Now, let us see the conversion of fractions into decimals. To convert a fraction into decimal, we have to follow these steps. In step 1, first write the numerator. Then step 2, counting from right to left of the numerator, mark the decimal point after as many digits as the number of zeros in the denominator. Now, seeing these examples, it will be more clear. If you see the first column of the table, all the fractions here have denominator as 10. So, the places after decimal is 1. For example, 3 by 10. It will be represented as 0.3. The next one is 26 by 10. Now here it will be represented as 2.6. If you observe, the decimal point or the point is given only after one place. 169 by 10, which is represented as 16.9. 1685 by 10. It will be represented in decimal form as 168.5. Now let us see the second column. In this, the fractions are having the denominator as 100. So, the places after decimal should be 2. That is, tenths and hundredths. The first fraction is 3 by 100. Now here, this fraction will be represented in decimal form as 0.03. If you remember, just few minutes before, I gave you a tip. If you don't have enough number of digits in the numerator, then you should add a 0 before the number to get the equal number of zeros as in the denominator. Right? So here, as in the denominator you have 2 zeros and in the numerator you have only 3, we will add 1 0 before 3. So the decimal form will be 0.03. Got it, Slaters? Yes. Now comes the second fraction. 26 by 100. Now here you already have 2 digits in the numerator. So do you need to add any 0? No. So this can be easily represented in decimal form as 0.26. Now the next fraction is 169 by 100. This will be represented as 1.69. Yes, after the point, 2 places. So 1.69. The last fraction 1685 by 100, which is represented as 16.85. Yes, as 2 places after decimal, the decimal point will be after 16, that is 16.85. Great. Now let us see the last column. In this last column, the denominators of all the fractions is 1000. So Slaters, can you tell me how many places after the decimal point? Yes, it should be 3 places. Now let us see the first example. 3 by 1000. Yes, you all remember, if the number of digits in the numerator is not equal to the number of zeros in the denominator, we should add zeros. Yes, after the decimal point. So here 3 by 1000 is equal to 0.003. The 3 decimal places equal to the number of zeros in the denominator. Great. Now the second example. 26 by 1000. Yes, here there are 2 digits. So 1 digit less. So we will add 1 0. So it will be written in the decimal form as 0.026. Now comes the third fraction. 169 by 1000. Yes, here the numerator has all the 3 digits. So we don't need to add any 0. It will be directly written as 0.169. Now comes the fourth fraction, 1685 by 1000. Correct. It will be represented as 1.685. Now, if you observe all these examples, in each case, the number of places after the decimal is the same as the number of zeros in the denominator. Yes. Now, let us see the exactly opposite of this. Conversion of the decimals into fractions or decimal fractions. To convert decimals into fractions, we have to follow these steps. Step 1. First, remove the decimal point. Write the number which is obtained after removing the decimal point as the numerator. Now, step 2. In the denominator, write 1 followed by as many zeros as the number of decimal places. Now let us see an example. Convert 4.126 into fraction. Yes, as per the first step, what we need to do? We will remove that decimal point and write the whole number as the numerator. So when you remove the decimal point, you get it as 4126, which is your numerator. Now in the denominator, write 1 and it should be followed by how many zeros? Yes, 3 zeros, because here after decimal point, you have 3 decimal places. So your denominator will be 1000. So 4.216 can be written as a fraction like 4126 by 1000. Is it clear, Slaters? Yes, great. Now let us see how to write the mixed numbers in the decimal form. Now what do you mean by a mixed number? Yes, a mixed number is nothing but it's a combination of two parts. It has two parts, that is a whole number part and a fractional part. In decimal system, the decimal point separates the whole number part from the fractional part. Now let us see an example. Let us represent 18 and 14 by 100 in decimal form. Here if you observe, 18 is your whole number and 14 by 100 is your fractional part. So first write the whole number, that is 18. Then put the decimal point. Okay, as we have already seen that decimal point separates the whole number from the fractional part. So once you write 18, then you put a decimal point. Now the fractional part, that is 14 by 100, can be written as 0.14 in decimal form. So the fraction 18, 14 by 100 can be represented in decimal form as 18.14. So Slaters, I hope with this you all understood how to convert a decimal fraction into decimal and the vice versa. Now based on this, let us solve exercise 1.2 on page number 88. Bit A. Write as decimals. The first sum. The fraction given is 15 by 100 or 15 upon 100. Yes, as we have already seen, you can represent 15 upon 100 in decimals as 0.15. Yes, here we don't need to add any zeros after the decimal points, as the number of zeros and the number of digits in the numerator is equal. So 15 by 100 is represented as 0.15. Okay. Now let us go to the second fraction. 672 upon 1000. Yes, this can be easily represented as 0.672. Great. Now comes the third fraction. 57 by 1000. Here, as per our tip, we know that the number of digits in the numerator is not equal to the number of zeros in the denominator. So, while writing the decimal fraction, we will add 1 zero before the numerator. So, 0.057. Great. Now comes the fourth one. Here this is a mixed number which has a whole part and a fractional part. So 4 and 142 by 1000. As we have already seen, while converting this into decimals, we should first write the whole part as it is, that is 4. Then give a point after 4. Now convert the fractional into decimal. 142 upon 1000 can be written as 0.142. So your whole decimal number becomes 4.142. Great. Now the fifth one. 7056 by 1000. Yes, this can be represented as 7.056. Now the sixth one. 1517 by 1000. This is again a mixed number. So first write the whole number 15 as it is, then give a point, and 17 by 1000 will be represented as 0.017. So your whole decimal number becomes 15.017. Okay. Now let us move on to bit B. Write the decimal numbers as fractions or mixed numbers. The first decimal number is 7.7. Now this decimal number can be represented in the fractional form as 77 by 10, or it can also be written as a mixed number like 7 and 7 by 10. Yes. Now comes the second decimal number, 4.675. This can be represented as a fraction 4675 by 1000. As you all remember, the number of zeros in the denominator should be equal to the number of decimal places. Now the third one, 0.79. This can be represented as a decimal fraction like 79 by 100. Here, before the point, it is 0. So there is no whole part for it. So it cannot be represented as a mixed number. The fourth decimal number is 4.88, which can be represented as 488 by 100 or 488 by 100. The fifth number is 1.096. This can be represented as decimal fraction like 1096 by 1000 or as a mixed number like 196 by 1000. So Slaters, with this, I hope you all understood how to write a fraction into a decimal and a decimal into a fraction. Few homework bits are shown on the screen. Please do the homework and practice. Till our next video, Keep studying. Bye.